Welcome back to ThreatFeed. Just days after the GTA 6 CyberLeek situation exploded online, things have escalated considerably. Take-Two is no longer simply trying to remove leaked videos from the internet. They're now trying to identify who's behind them. Microsoft and Discord have been hit with subpoena requests. New GTA 6 footage is continuing to appear and is growing evidence suggesting CyberLeek or whoever is supplying them may have access to an actual playable build. So here's everything that's happened since my last video. The biggest development came on August 20th. Take-Two filed requests for DMCA subpoenas in the Southern District of New York seeking records from Microsoft and Discord. And this is where the story becomes particularly interesting from a cybersecurity perspective. Take-Two isn't simply asking these companies to delete leaked GTA 6 footage. They're looking for information that could potentially help identify the person or people behind the leaks. Reportedly requested information includes things such as account details and records connected with accounts involved in distributing the leaked material. The Microsoft request also reportedly extends to potentially relevant OneDrive and linked Xbox account information. Microsoft and Discord have reportedly been given until September 4th to provide the requested information. So the investigation has moved from get this footage off the internet to find out who's doing this. Microsoft being involved immediately caught my attention, because if CyberLeek or somebody connected with the operation interacted with Microsoft infrastructure, investigators could potentially have another trail to follow. Accounts create telemetry, logins create records, devices create identifiers, cloud services create activity logs, and identities sometimes become linked together. This is exactly where operational security becomes extremely important. Someone can hide their identity successfully hundreds of times. Investigators only need to find one mistake that connects an anonymous identity with a real one. That's why attribution investigations often involve correlating lots of seemingly insignificant pieces of information. One IP address doesn't necessarily identify somebody. One username doesn't necessarily identify somebody. One account doesn't necessarily identify somebody. But start connecting multiple data points together, and eventually a picture can emerge. There was briefly speculation that CyberLeek had disappeared. For roughly 24 hours, things went quiet. People naturally started wondering whether Take-Two had managed to shut the operation down. But that didn't last. CyberLeek returned with additional GTA 6 footage, including a new sequence involving Jason stealing and driving a high-performance car. So whatever is happening behind the scenes, the leak campaign appears to still be active. There's also been another major development since my original video. Earlier, one of the biggest questions was whether CyberLeek simply possessed a finite collection of pre-recorded videos, or whether somebody actually had access to the game. New footage has made that question considerably more interesting. One sequence shows the player deliberately using bullets to spell leak into a wall. Think about the significance of that. If genuine, that's not simply somebody finding an old development video containing exactly the footage they needed. Someone appears to have deliberately performed an action inside the game specifically for CyberLeek. That strongly suggests one of two things. CyberLeek has or had access to a playable build, or CyberLeek is communicating directly with somebody who does. It simply doesn't prove that CyberLeek hacked Rockstar, and that's an extremely important distinction. A development build can potentially have come from an employee, contractor, compromised endpoint, third party, or another source entirely. We still don't know. This is why I'm following this story from a cybersecurity perspective rather than simply covering GTA 6 leaks. We now potentially have several investigations happening simultaneously. Take-Two is pursuing platform records. Microsoft may have useful account or cloud information. Discord potentially has information relating to accounts involved in distributing the material. And there's also the cryptocurrency side of CyberLeek, which creates another completely separate trail of transactions that researchers can analyze. Every one of those trails potentially creates another opportunity for attribution. The date I'm watching now is September 4th. That's the reported deadline for Microsoft and Discord to respond to Take-Two's requests. that doesn't mean we're suddenly going to discover CyberLeek's identity on September 4th. The information could remain private, the request could be challenged, the records might lead nowhere, or they could potentially become part of a much larger investigation. But if useful identifying information does emerge, the next steps could become very serious for whoever is behind this. And there's still another major unanswered question. Does CyberLeek currently have access to GTA 6? If they're simply sitting on an old development build, Rockstar may eventually contain the situation. But if someone connected with CyberLeek still has access to current Rockstar systems or development environments, that's an entirely different cybersecurity incident. So in only a few days, this story has gone from leaked GTA 6 footage to decentralized distribution to cryptocurrency to evidence suggesting access to a playable build, and now federal court subpoenas seeking information that could help identify the people responsible. And CyberLeek is apparently still releasing material. I'll continue following the technical side of the story and separating what we can actually verify from the rumors circulating online. Because right now, we still don't know who CyberLeek is, we still don't know exactly how they obtained GTA 6, and we still don't know whether they have persistent access. But Take-Two clearly wants answers to those questions as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm CyberEd, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.